Right, we're back into the tree of life, into the Metu netter. We're gonna pick up at chapter 6, and this is going to be kind of redundant, but in every time we go into the tree of life, there should be something more that we pick out of it. So we're going to start over with sphere 0. We went through the triangles that make up the tree of life. 0, reminder that in the subjective state, there cannot even be so much as a single thought. The very first manifestation of thought is already the process of objectification. So 0 is complete unity. The one energy life force that connects everything, that makes everything, being one consciousness. Okay, so the being one body, the subjective state, it's one thing. The only consciousness that is that of consciousness being aware of it is conscious. So this is what, in my estimation, God is. The only consciousness is that I am, no pun intended. That's it. There is no interaction because there's no interaction to happen. There are no two things. There's nothing to go against each other. Everything is one. That is the first state. As soon as there becomes a thought outside of I am, we are already into sphere number 1. Now, sphere number 1, the Kether, Kether, is the Supreme's being identification with the unlimited potential and unlimited presence in space, infiniteness, and time, eternalness of the subjective realm. So the subjective realm, which is where we haven't gotten into the objective realm, we're still in the subjective realm. The first part, the Kether, is the Supreme Being's identification with the unlimited potential of this energetic body and the unlimited presence of this energetic body in space and time of the subjective realm. All right. The Supreme Being brings forth the awareness that its identity is capable of being whatever it chooses to be. And that is, it is immortal and eternal. Now, in Masonry, you're taught to have an understanding of logic, of sciences, of rhetoric, and other things. Why? Logically, if it takes us back to Einstein, drew a blank, Einstein. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Now, we'll take that as scientists all the time. Oh, yeah, Einstein was the man. Einstein was the man. Okay, the subjective realm, the life force cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed. Hence, it is what? It is immortal and it's eternal. When you see the alignment of truths, you begin to see the direction of revelation. All right. So we move to the second act of manifestation. This is the initiator of the creative events, the awakening, the second act of manifestation. The Supreme Beings brings forth the creative faculties, and the creative faculty is divine will. Okay. The second act of manifestation is the Supreme's being bringing forth of the creative faculties. These are the will and its spiritual power. So we have 0, 1 is the Kether, 2 is the will, 3 is the spiritual power. The divine will is the second sphere. Okay, I want to make sure that we're right. 0 doesn't count. Remember? We move to 1, which is the top of the first triangle. That is the Kether. Number 2 is divine will. The second sphere of the tree of life is the faculty that indicates what will take place, what's going to happen. All right. And is thus the initiator of all the creative events. This is saying, first, we have realized I am that I am. And what I have the potential to be. Number 2 is saying, I have the will to make it happen, whatever I choose it to be. This is the eternal and infinite continuum. And all things are parts of a whole and are related to and interdependent upon each other. This is the hardest thing for most people to conceptualize. And that is something to really ponder. I'll read it again. All things are parts of the whole and are related to and interdependent upon each other. Everything comes from the subjective realm, this one body of energy life force. Okay? And that's what everything springs from. Everything. That is why things grow. That's why everything is in a perfect cycle. The sun emits carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen, which is 90% of what we're made of. And we are made of those things because those things are emitted. So the sun that belongs to God lives for us to live, or dies because it emits off its energy. It's giving its energy. It is dying for us to live. Sounds like a similar story. All of these things are connected. They come from the same life force. The sun comes from the same life force. The planets, the water, everything, that the whole circle of life comes from one thing. That's why it's all independent upon each other, which is why a lot of people, especially Christians, have an issue with what they call polytheism, which is funny because you still have a triad within Christianity, but polytheism is supposed to be paganistic, which paganistic is not a bad thing. Pagan is any religion outside of the mainstream religion. But it is very important to at least entertain this idea that everything is related. Everything comes from the same source. Everything grows, everything dies, everything comes back. That being so, everything is related to each other because it is connected. It was connected in the beginning. It is connected in the objective realm. It is our own consciousness that sees it as separate. So that is how God, the subjective energy, can be omnipresent. God is everywhere. These thoughts and premises are truths that are in religions. The religions have truths without being the truth. So that's why many people are overcommitted to religions, because the fact that there are some truths make them get confused with it being the truth. So that's 0, 1, and 2. We'll pick up with number 3, which is divine power.